Hi, it's Emily. So weekly, I've been doing a lot of overnights. It's changed. It's 17 an hour for doing now for caregiving, and I usually go to Willa's. I did two overnights, and it's in Lemon Grove because I usually go to Lemon Grove, and I noticed the homeless population has gone up. In order to survive, when I get up at 8 a.m., I go to a Taco Bell. I go to the drive-thru now because there's a lot of homeless that go inside Taco Bell, and I'll get the Cinnabon coffee with the pump, Cinnaballs with creams, and a Crunchwrap Supreme. That's my weakness, the Crunchwrap Supreme, and it costs about $9 now. It used to be $8, but it just went up today. I was just there today, and it went up. Lemon Grove, here's my lemon drop outfit from Forever 21. Now, a lot of people don't agree with Freemasonry or prostitution, but it's what makes the economy go around. You go to Starbucks, it's owned by Freemasons. The symbol is a mermaid. It's basically me. I'm the mermaid. Here's my grandpa, great-grandpa actually, Leo Plinsky, and I drew this when he was an Underground Tavern guy. It's my grandma's dad. The Depression, and also conducting movies during the Depression, or, you know, the economy was really bad, so when she was a landlord lady, she would keep a lot of the half-eaten foods from her. People would rent from her and keep the food. That's my middle name. It's my food handlers. Now, she went to college in St. Louis as well as Grandpa Joe, and that's how they met. They did art. She made this ring right here with a seashell in college. Made this ring. They're college educated. I took photography. I'm not that smart, but I believe and have a faith. I helped a homeless guy for several months, and when he would panhandle in Ocean Beach, and he would find acid in the floor. Blue, looks like a Lego with plastic Legos, and he would take that along with cocaine and other drugs and stuff his mouth with it, and he wouldn't feel the effects of the drug. When I would pray for him, he told me he didn't want to associate himself with Christians anymore. He wanted to pursue the left-hand path, so we went different directions. A lot of people wonder, why would I ever associate myself with a street-level person or help out a person like that? Well, because that's how I am. And at the time, I was going through my own things because I was traumatized when I was young. I had my trauma affects you for life, and you're going to have nightmares for the rest of your life and have anxiety and fear. There's just prayers for emotional wholeness from my parents. Stormy, it's a book my parents got for Christmas. It was December 25th, 2009 for Christmas. When I need to be delivered from fear. Lord, when I see the things that are happening around me, I become afraid of that happening to me too. When I see tornadoes, hurricanes, and earthquakes, I fear being caught in one. But you, Jesus, rebuked the storm and the sea was calm, and you rebuked your disciples for being fearful instead of faithful. Lord, help me to have faith so that when the storms of life come, I will pray in power instead of trembling in fear. He said to them, why are you fearful, O you of little faith? Then he arose and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. Matthew 8:26. I have irritable bowel syndrome, and this is a book that helps, also a biblical thing about, because all that comes from anxiety and fear. Avoid these foods that contain yeast, vinegar, nuts, chocolate, honey, sugar. That's my weakness, sugar, but I only eat that weekly. But now the dollar's gone up so much, I can't even afford it. Call girls, now they make like $10K a night. They could afford that, most definitely. But you kill yourself with all that drugs and all that sugar and all that highs that go out in that adrenaline rush, or go get laid and make that money. And it becomes an addiction. Originally, I wanted to work with tigers. I loved white tigers. I bought a plastic one at the zoo. And eventually I bought these off Etsy. They're different poses of white tigers. Those are my favorite animal since I was a kid. I got them on Etsy. And when I saw the Joe Exotic documentary, that really changed my mind about things. But Joe Exotic is the worst example of an animal keeper. He's not someone to look up to, like he's a good primary example, because there's other animal keepers that aren't like that. He's not a respectful man, like, at all whatsoever, but that's just him. You know, he's polyamorous, gay, and abuses animals. But I originally wanted to work with cats, and I worked with an aquarium, working with stingrays and sharks instead and volunteer at the aquarium. That's what I could do. We all have our levels of what we can do. I don't think I'd want to work part-time as a call girl, but a lot of them, they rule the world. They're like the Freemasons. They rule the world. They rule the Golden Arches. They own McDonald's. They own Starbucks. They own the taverns. Prostitutes. They run by their feelings and practice all kinds of occult stuff as well. They practice those games just in order to practice meditation in order to be able to do those things. I think why a lot of them like me, because they like astrology and things like that. And a lot of them have those weaknesses, sugar, drugs, and our highs that we go with, and our stresses and our disorders. And this is the way I heal myself. I have to every day remind myself to do things better. It's not easy, especially when you like things like sugar or sex and things like that. Blessed are those whose lawless deeds are forgiven and whose sins are covered. Romans 4:7. Well, there you go. It went right to the page when I was talking, when I need to forgive and get free of the past. And a lot of them practice meditation just in order to get escape from their Johns, just escape from their people that pick them up. And LA and San Diego has a huge amount of prostitutes and call girls, and they're human too. A lot of them work part-time normal jobs, and they don't steal or hurt anybody. They're not mugging anybody, but they sell themselves on Craigslist, and it's what runs the world and the economy. Think of it. All the underground taverns, the 20s, flappers. People act like, come on now, flappers. It's that time. I love this dress because it has a frill in the end, that kind of style, the frill in the end. Found it at Forever 21. It really got my attention. I really like yellow too. Lemon drop in the sky, gold. Oh yes, Lemon Grove.